Can't find no peace. Ain't no peace in it. Can't find no peace. Ain't no peace in it. Can't find no peace. Ain't no peace in it. Can't find no peace. Ain't no peace in it.
I'm organized and I'm fortified, so I'm on my job talking fortified, try to do his will. I'm the ghost spoke per rim. You can call me Mordecai. They was mortified once I modified, but the most I say, close your eyes, they gon' idolize. If I compromise, and what's on my mind is at 23. Old laws became new to me. Then that old man got a eulogy, but from you to me, he didn't really die. Now it's two I feel. Only one is free. That's what I wanna think. In a sunken place, but I wanna sink. I'm a wanted man with the filthiest crown. You heard me then, I hope you hearing me now, because your words are profound. In the spiritual fight, I got my war clothes, feeling like I'm crawling through the mud with just a torso, trying to make it to a kingdom that's been foreclosed. The filthiest rags is our reward though. Death by suffocation, the reward show. And if you don't know, you probably never know. You gon' die, young man, you gon' die. You gon' die, young man, you gon' die. You gon' die, young man, you gon' die. Cause you ain't got eyes, young man, you ain't got eyes. And it ain't no surprise. And it ain't no surprise. And it ain't no surprise.
This is Colin Muhammad, former national representative of the Nation of Islam. Mr. Muhammad is the man who made so many of the front pages of American newspapers with a speech at Kean College, which so many people called anti-Semitic and a lot of things. At the very least, racist. Remember the comment? He picked up the Pope's dress, and let's see what's under that dress. Here's what you said about Colin Ferguson, the man who shot a Jamaican a black male who shot 6 people on the Long Island train. Mr. Muhammad speaks.
Where they set black inmates up in these jails and penitentiaries, and in particular there in Nassau County, and pulled all the black officers out and the black inmates so they could jump on Brother Colin Ferguson, because they were mad with him for catching the Long Island train and killing all them white folks. I love Colin Ferguson. I have no official position, so I can say I love him.
You love a man who randomly killed 6 people on a commuter train?
I love Colin Ferguson just as much as the masses of white Americans love General Schwarzkopf, General Westmoreland, General Patton, General MacArthur, and Eisenhower. America awards her killers, and they get ribbons and stripes and bars. I'm sensitive to the pain and suffering of the loss of life on that train, but I'm one of the rebellious slaves. And so when black people stand up out of pain and suffering and frustration, I understand after 500 years.
You also, you talk about the response of some African Americans to, for example, the book which attempts to prove that the Jews are involved in the slave trade. I'd be happy to let them see that. You talk about when white folks can't defeat you, you said in your speech at Kean, they'll always find some Negro, some boot-licking, butt-licking, buck-dancing, bamboozle, half-baked, half-fried, sissified, punkified, pasteurized, homogenized nigger that they can trot out in front of you.
I know I disappointed you today, brother, and I know I disappointed the black community when I wore the hat, and I'm sorry for disappointing you, but like I just told J. Cole on the phone.
All right. Shalom, shalom to the brethren. What up to everybody else? All praises to the Most High. Thanks to his son Yahushua HaMashiach. Toda Riba, Abba Yah, mighty, great, and awesome Abba, Savior of the repentant sinners. Father to those that cleave to him, that seek after him, that keep his commandments. Let me got something to say. What? Say it. Say daddy? Okay, you playing games. Some reason when he's throwing a hissy fit and I pray, he calms down. No, you don't do this on my live now. Be a tube little boy. Come on now. You're not known for being wild on the podcast. Okay? Act like you got some sense. You got some home training. No. No. Here. Now. Hold it for your daddy. Okay, anyway, shalom everybody. Grand rising for all of those of you who are up with me this Boca. Okay? And in the words of, old boy from the Truman Show, and if I don't catch you, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, whatever you said. Yes, man. We're talking about this morning casting your pearls, casting your precious things, the word of the Most High Yah, your time, your energy, casting it before swine. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's think about it. Let's as always, I aim to cause my people to consider with these messages. I'm not teaching you anything, may the Ruach HaKodesh teach you and lead you and guide you in all knowledge and understanding. May you take the words of my mouth and contemplate them and let the Ruach minister to you the things that are right and the things that are wrong. So casting pearls before swine, giving up something that's not going to be well received by those in which you give it. We have a great example in our Savior, Yah's salvation, Yah's word made flesh, Yahushua HaMashiach. He was a healer. He was one that took sick people and made them well. He was the one that took people who were broken and made them whole. This is the thing about that, and Christianity would have you think he was going to all the places where the sick people gathered. He was calling them out, and going in, grabbing them, healing folks, just going and grabbing folks randomly and healing them. Come here, let me heal you. You sick, come here. Come here, I'm gonna give you some of that healing. That is not the case, brothers and sisters. People came and sought him. Okay? When he taught the word to people that came to hear it, oftentimes close to synagogues, close to places where people came to worship and gather. That's why it was always scribes and Pharisees around when he was talking, because they would be the people ministering inside of these synagogues. So when he's speaking around people that came to hear a word, people that were looking for word, people that was looking to hear scripture that day, right? And he spoke to them and expounded to them things which they might not have known or things which they might not have considered, but yet and still they sought. He wasn't going out ministering to random people on the street. Random people on the street had heard about him, and they came and pulled him to the side and asked him questions. Master, what must I do for eternal life? Man had people, move them all around to get into a certain spot to be able to talk to him. He was crippled to heal me. He sought him out. And this is what I want to bring forth to you today, my brothers and my sisters, to consider. Because we're supposed to embody Hamashiach. This is more so to the men, but the sisters can kind of glean from this as well when dealing with other sisters. We have to become the kind of people that live in such a way that it endears people to come, to ask questions, to find out, to want to see what's going on, or when we conduct ourselves in public and we dealing with people that's seeking information, that we present the information in such a way that people standing roundabout get intrigued, they get convicted by what they hear, they get convicted by what they see, and then they in turn come and seek the word. I think Christianity in this whole evangelism thing, because the Great Commission, they weren't just knocking on door to door. At least I don't believe, right? What I would gather was that they was going to these lands, to these places, and going to the synagogues and probably catching people at the synagogues and seeking refuge, seeking shelter in certain people's homes, and while in these homes, they minister to these people. It's got to be somebody that's seeking, because the scriptures plainly tell us not to be dealing with fools, not to correct fools, not to enter into arguments with fools. This would be swine, people. This would be an abomination. A fool is an abomination. It's something that should not be. So we should not, not enter. We should not endeavor to waste time with these people. It was a song Jay-Z said, to quote Jay-Z, a wise man told me don't argue with fools, because people from a distance can't tell who is who. You don't want to get confused. You don't want to get mixed up with these people. You don't want to get into arguments trying to give somebody something that they didn't ask for. Now, if they come and they seeking is a humbleness that you are requiring something from somebody, and you got to kind of come in a certain way when you asking for help, right? Most of these people that's getting ministered to, that you're trying to give the word to, they're not seeking it. They're not seeking it. You just giving it. You just taking time out your day to try to tell somebody some stuff that they don't want to hear, and you end up frustrated and mad. Oh, y'all are stupid. Y'all don't want to listen. You could have avoided all that if you would have just left a fool in his folly. Okay? Even brothers and sisters, when we get into these arguments and stuff on Facebook or in real life, a lot of these people are not really seeking your perception or seeking to be converted. They seeking to convert you. You want to convert them. They want to convert you. Nobody really is listening because they waiting on you to be quiet so they can prove their point. We really got to stop this stuff, Yashara. That's why it's so much division amongst us. That's why we can't come together, because we want to show what we didn't learn. Ooh. Let me tell you what I didn't learn today. And in our minds, in reality, that's supposed to be a tube thing, right? It's supposed to be something that is something you can do. But it's not, because there's too much. You could listen to a person. Somebody has something they want to tell you in a kindness and a harbor. You could listen to them. But when you try to change that narrative, that's when a lot of the issues come in. I would even go so far as to say, if you feel that that person's understanding is detrimental to them or in some way harmful or could be a transgression to them, I would say, okay, you can listen to what they say and you can give your opinion on it. But if your opinion is not received, you just gotta leave that thing alone. You gotta leave that thing alone, brothers and sisters. I'm trying to save you some headaches. I'm trying to save you some evil spirits coming into you. You know what I'm talking about? Because you get frustrated, you get mad. Oh, they just don't want to listen. Oh, now you done lost your shalom. Okay, whatever kind of peace and joy you had is gone now. Because now you're frustrated, you're angry. You might even be discouraged. My people. Oh, they just don't want to listen. Oh man, my people. You could have saved yourself. You could have saved yourself some of that. You know what I'm saying? Go somewhere and rub your baby's scalp like this. That's all you gotta do. And leave them alone. Leave the people alone. This is shalom right here. This. All right. You like don't be playing you on camera. Don't be doing me on camera. It's okay. But yeah, man. Stop casting your pearls before swine is the point. Don't waste your energies on those that ain't asked for it. Okay? Let's be effective. Um, I was I was talking to my brother one time about maximum effectiveness. Okay, let's be efficient in our efforts. Let's not waste time, waste energy. Let's do the best we can, the best way we can, and leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? That's when you done your best. That's when you done your best. You didn't live the right life. The woman on the hill in Samaria was see looking for him, or did he make himself available to her? Well, that was a happens. I don't recall the story. All I know is he sought water from her. So you could say he made himself available, but at the same time, you could say it was just happenstance. You just never know. I don't know enough. I can't recall enough about it. But even in the text, I don't read that like he intentionally put himself there. Now, if that was a well-known Sumerian place that he went to, she was a northern tribe. Yes. Now, if that watering well, because you got to think the Yahudim didn't mess with the Sumerians. So if that well, it's very unlikely that they shared a well, because they was like, ew, like, ooh, you a Sumerian. Get away from me. Like she said, what you got to do with me? What you got to do with me, son of man? Or something like that she called him. And uh so obviously they didn't deal with each other. So if he went to that well, then he specifically at at the least wanted to speak with a Sumerian. He wanted to put himself in a position to talk to a Sumerian. Was it her verbatim? I don't know. Possibly, you know. But either way, you know, even if he presented to her, maybe she had the heart and mind to receive it. That's another thing, you know. Um, she received it. Not only that, she went and spread his fame. She went and told her people, I just talked to a man that told me about my whole life. So even then, it was all to the esteem and the honor of the Most High Yah. You know what I'm saying? Because they spoke of the Son, and the Son spoke of the Father. But she received it enough to do what was needed, and then that whole speech in between them, we use that until this day to bring back that which was lost. Yes. But also, it's one thing to minister in the process of doing business. opportunity presented itself. Opportunities may present itself to us while we going about conducting our business. He wanted some water. While he was getting some water, he came across a Sumerian woman that in his discernment, in his understanding, he discerned that she was willing to receive his information, and I kind of want to pull the text up. Where is that at? What chapter and verse is that in? We can get into it. Maybe it's on my brother's heart that we get into this thing, pull this thing up. If you can find it, I'll post it. Post the chapter and the verse. But by and large, we can't be out here having back and forth with people that's not trying to hear. They got to come seeking. Hamashiach told us, seek ye first. Why is it that Hamashiach says, seek ye first the kingdom and all its righteousness? But yet we say other people ain't got to seek. We going to go give it to them. You ain't got to seek. I'm going to come give it to you. I got to seek. You ain't got to seek. I'm going to come give it to you. That's really not how it's supposed to go. My brother said the story of the woman at the well, the Sumerian woman, is in John chapter 4. Let's go there. Let's find out if he presented himself. Okay, here we go. Let's start. Now Jacob's well was there. Okay, now that's Jacob's well. So, okay. Let's start at 1, as my brother likes to do. When therefore the Adon knew how the Pharisees had heard. When therefore the Adon knew how the Pharisees had heard that Yahusha made and baptized more disciples than Yehukanan, though Yahusha himself baptized not, but his disciples. Wow. He left Yehuda and departed again into Galilee, and he must needs go through Samaria. Said he must needs. So apparently he went through Samaria on purpose. 5. Then cometh he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near the parcel of the ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph, that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. And Jacob's well was there. Yahusha, therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahusha saith unto her, give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou being a Yehudi asketh drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Yahudim have no dealings with the Samaritans. Yahusha answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of Yah, and who it is that saith to thee, give me drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. If you knew who you was talking to, you'd be talking different. You know what I'm saying? Is this casting pearl? I mean, is this what I'm speaking or warning against, or hoping to give you caution against ministering to people that haven't asked for it? it's not in the same, it's not really in the same context. Because we have to think about Yahusha's deal and how he spoke. Yahusha, Northern Kingdom, and there is a he represents the bringing together of the two sticks, of the two twigs, right? A lot of his ministry, a lot of his parables and stuff was about the bringing back in of a wayward son. That's where the prodigal son comes. The elder that went out and spent his inheritance, right? And then he came back to his father. About the good Samaritan, that came and ministered to a member of a Southern Kingdom when his own people turned against him, right? Um, so I think opportunity presented itself to write the narrative of, you know, y'all my people too. You know what I'm saying? She spoke in a certain way. She said a certain thing that kind of triggered him to talking, which would happen to us. Like I said, in a certain way of seeking, she asked him a question. She asked the man a question. She said, "How is it that thou, being a Yahudim, ask you drink of me, which am of Samaria?" That's a question mark. She want to know something. Somebody asked me something. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give it to you. So yeah, I uh as far as him making himself available, it being a purpose thing, it says that he was tired from his journey and he was thirsty and wanted water. I think it was more of a thing of the ruach, of just things, you know, coming together for a certain purpose. So this conversation can be had. So yes, if you are put in a situation like that where you able to give, but still she asked the question. She probably ain't know she was gonna get what she got. She didn't know who she was talking to. He told her, you don't know who you talking to. But let me tell you. Okay, let's continue on. Let's continue on. He said, now, if thou knewest the gift of Yah and who it is, the gift of Yah is reconciliation. Okay? The gift of Yah is reconciliation through repentance, right? Northern Kingdom was divorced from the Mosiah, right? But he promised for there to be a reconciliation in the future. Okay? He said, if you knew the gift of Yah, if you knew that Yah was going to be able to come back in, and if you knew who it was, the one that's going to bring again the enjoining, right? Then you know, if you knew who it is that saith to thee, give me drink, thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. She really kind of did. She asked of him a question, and he gave her the word. He gave her the truth. The woman saith unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou this living water? That's why he asking her for water, because she got something to draw with. Well, it says right here he didn't have anything to get the water with. That's why he asked her, because she came to the well with the bucket. He didn't have a bucket to drop down into the well to get the water with. That's why she said, you have nothing to draw with. How do you ask me? No, she said, you don't have anything to draw with. From whence then hast thou that living water? I said, you ain't got no water. That's why you talking to me. Mark said, I must look deeper. Well, would you like to come on the podcast? Would you like to expound? You're in my comments. Come speak to the people. You're very much welcome. Show me what I'm missing here. Would you like me to send you a link to your email? we can get you on in here. It's no problem at all. So, absolutely. Okay. One moment, people. No, we gonna talk here in a second. Hold on. My wife here. Yeah. Why? Well, cancel it. Well, cancel it. Cancel it then. Pardon me, y'all. I am sending my brother a link to this thing. Yes, babe. If you would like to cancel the order, babe. Hello, you hear me? Okay, yeah. Cancel it, babe. You hear me? Okay, babe. I'm on a live. I'll see you when you get out of here. You said you're what? I'm on a live. I'll see you when you get out here. All right. Okay, yes. I sent the link out. But irregardless if Yahusha presented himself to this woman or not, the fact of the matter is the Bible speaks plainly to us about dealing with foolish people and trying to give something to someone that don't want it. You know, it says what it say about don't correct a fool in his folly because he will hate you or something like that. You know, this is along the lines of what I'm saying. As far as this one particular situation with Yahusha and this woman, it can go either way, right? But you know, it's just not a wise thing to be out um uh you know, getting into these heated discussions with people about scripture, especially if they have not sought it out, you know. There go my brother Kafer here. Oh, he's coming. There he is. All right, Oxalone. If you're talking, we can't hear you. You sound like a robot. Sound like a robot. Sound like a lot of feedback happening.
Look, I'm gonna use your phone. This phone true.
Try now. Say something now.
Try now. Say something now.
What's the feedback? Are you
What's the feedback? Are you
you can't.
I'm about to turn this thing off.
That's where the feedback coming from. All right. As we await on my brother to get on here. Let's give all praises to the Most High Abba, man. I don't know where you at or what's going on, if it's snow on the ground, if it's a sunny day, but you here. Somebody woke up dead this morning. Somebody went to sleep and didn't wake up. So let's give all praises to the Most High Yah, a great and awesome Abba.
Shalom, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Tuda Yah, Boca Told, man. Shalom, brother. For those that's gonna watch this video, man, not by any means was that like a debate or what do you call that? Disagreement or anything like that. It's just to raise awareness, right? You know, I know my brother, and my brother is a courageous lion, and you know, with that being said, man, let's go back to John 4 and see specifically what it says there. Mashiach didn't just go to any well, right? He had to go through Samaria. Samaria is where the northern tribes dwell. Mind you, this woman was of the house of Yasha'al. Matter of fact, this well that she was at, she made mention that it's her father's well. That was the well of Yaqub given to his son Yahusuf. Yahusuf being the chief of the northern tribes, which was through Ephraim, right? Ephraim and Manasseh and all the other tribes that was connected to Ephraim and Manasseh. So Mashiach being the one that was sent forth to bring back that which was lost. This was strategically done, and it was on purpose, and it was by way of the Ruach HaKodesh that empowered him and led him that way, just like when he came up out of the immersion, when he was immersed by Yahuchanan, and after he came out of the immersion, he was led into the wilderness by the Ruach HaKodesh to be tested or tempted by Satan, by the devil. Just like how he was led by the Ruach HaKodesh to this well, this specific well, who at the time the woman was there. Mashiach was thirsty. Yes, he was thirsty. And he asked the woman for some water, and she went on to say what she said. Now, he initiated this conversation. He knew what was going on. Let me tell you why. Because the Ruach HaKodesh in him, or the Father in him, led him to do that thing. He heard of the Father, just like prophets back in the day when you read in the scriptures, where the Nabim, the Most High, through the word of Yahweh, came to him and told him specific things to let him know what was going on. Whereas there was a situation where a king sent his wife dressed up like somebody else, and the Nabi was made aware of that by the Ruach to tell him what was going on, and he called in that person that was dressed or coming in a different way to try to, you know, not show themselves to be who they were at the time. So with that being said, man, when she did this, he drawed out something from her, right? And she confessed some things that was going on with her. She spoke truth. And in that process of doing that, she revealed, it came to her knowledge and to her mind that, man, this is a prophet. Why did she say that? Said that this is a prophet or not. So, you know, when she found it, when she come to the awareness that knowing that he was a prophet, knowing he was a knob, she was like, all right, now go get your husband. And then she goes to expound on, I don't have no husband. He's like, yo, you well said you don't have no husband. You have had 5 husbands, and one you with now, it's not. So this was an invitation. The way all this setup was an invitation to bring the message or the gift of Yahweh to the northern tribes, because they went and he dwelt and stayed with these people. Now the book don't specifically say how long he stayed, but he stayed, right? He stayed there and he ministered to the people and brought them to awareness of how to be reconciled back to the Most High Yah. Mind you, the reason why Yahudim didn't deal with the Samaritans, didn't deal with the northern tribe, because these people was not following the ways of Yah. They wasn't. They wasn't coming to Jerusalem to keep the feast days. They wasn't coming to Jerusalem to bring the tithes and offering. They stopped doing all this. Plus, like my ox said earlier, they was divorced from the Most High Yah, because they chose to walk contrary to the Most High Yah and wouldn't turn back. So the Most High divorced them, but he didn't do that with Yahudah, So yeah, this was on purpose. That's why I say it was on purpose, man. This was a form of ministry. So setting yourself up to be in a position, you can even the wisdom or the cunningness to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. You can initiate a conversation in expectation that a person would ask something specific. Then you can give them the message that they can have. Now that comes by way of chokmah, wisdom. Now, like my brother said, he said things right in regards of not engaging with fools or debating and not only that, giving things to people, or force feeding people that's not even hungry, are not even asking or looking for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be well received when somebody's asking or seeking for it. But if you initiate, you can also initiate a conversation and spark a person's interest for them to even ask something, to be ready to receive something that you may possess that the Most High Yah is giving you to give to them. So, you know, that's just something I wanted to share with the people, man, that's going to be listening to this podcast.
Let's well, first off, Toda, for your input, Toda, for your willingness to come aboard and to prove all things, prove what you were saying. I think we're saying the same things because I hinted earlier at the fact that that she was receptive to what he was saying, and that he discerned her receptiveness.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you're saying, through the Ruach, him hearing the Ruach, him adhering to it, that all these things came about. But it came about because this, like, it was almost ordained, right? Would you say?
Right. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So in that manner, you know, it ain't no getting away from it anyway. That's like a thing of Jonah. Like, it's gonna happen. You know, you could go through some rough and tumbles, you know, behind it, but you know what I'm saying? It's gonna happen. Who could turn back the fiery darts of the Most High Yah? You know what I'm saying? And his will, who could bend his will? Ain't no bending it. It is what it is. And I think that with her is in that situation. And many of us, you know, I have found myself in places I didn't know I was going to be in, to say things I didn't know I was going to say to people I didn't even know I was going to be dealing with. So, you know, the Ruach and Yah, you know, put these kinds of things together. These kinds of things are unavoidable, and these kind of things are meant to be, and they will be fruitful because Yah has designed it. He's used whoever he's using, you know, on the giving end and the receiving end. He's built a certain person up in such a way to know exactly what to say, to have to have a certain personality to say what needs to be said to the person that needs to hear it. So in that kind of a situation, it's not a casting pearls before swine. It's not ministering to strangers. It's something that's set up to be that way because of who's involved. So, you know, I agree. That kind of a thing is, you know, it wouldn't be fruitless. It wouldn't get into debate or into, you know, endless
Babblings.
babblings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's what I was saying about avoiding. You could avoid these things by not. But if you led, if you pushed really, you know, and what you said about actually hearing the Ruach, a lot of people don't, it's not a Ruach thing. It'd be almost, to be honest, it's almost a selfish thing and a thing of wanting to show knowledge and to show understanding and to, you know, almost to kind of talk to the peon almost, you know, puny earthling.
Wow.
Let me tell you of wise things. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, in that case, these things don't be fruitful. These things turn into arguments. These things turn into, you know, battles. And people come away with no shalom, with no peace, no understanding. And it's like, you know, that wasn't the time to do that. That wasn't, you know, the ruach to do that in. There is a ruach of shalom and of knowledge and understanding. And when that's how you operating in, that's when the fruit can bear. But if it's in any ways off, you know, it's not gonna bear fruit. That's like, you know, in husbandry. If you don't plant that seed right, you know, if you don't till the ground just right, if you don't water it just right, if you don't keep the pests away and all that, that thing is not gonna produce nothing.
Plus, yeah. And I was gonna say too, plus you got to remember too that there's different types of soil, and there was a parable that Mashiach brought forth in regards to those different types of soils to be receptive to the seed to bear fruit. And so knowing what ground you're dealing with, you don't, a person may not know from hindsight looking on. You just plant the seed, you move forward, then somebody else will come through and water that seed, move forward, but it's Yahweh that gives the increase. So, depending on the different soils that's being sowed upon, that's on the person, depending on where their awareness and where their thoughts is, because a lot of people can get thrown off and render the seed of no effect because of whatever they may be dealing with, whether it be the cares of this life, rather it be they don't take no root in it, or continue in the going after the word, whatever reason it may be, So, and just to share this with those that's gonna come on, on my page and in fact on Facebook, Judge Yashal, when I get on, I don't get on there every day. I don't get on there all the time. I get on there when I'm led to do so. And those that come and see and hear, it's meant for them to come and see and hear, because they searching, they are seeking for a word. That's the reason why they on the page. People come on this page to listen because they looking for something. They looking to hear something. That's the only reason why they do. Even if it's some may be coming on there looking just to be nosy, to see what's being said. Some may be genuinely coming to hear a word. Y'all knows. You get what I'm saying? However, that don't deter one person they don't deter a person from not obeying what thus said Yah. And I say thus said Yah because people so caught up and people so used to saying thus said Yah, even though we don't talk like that. What Yah has said or what Yah has put up on a person's heart to do. And hallelujah. So when that happens, praise the Most High Yah and just be obedient to it, even if it may look a certain type of way to a person. The whole thing about it is you being obedient to Yah and move forward in that. You know what I mean? And then a person who is meant for will hear that thing and they're gonna run with it. Not only they're gonna run with it, they're gonna produce fruit, and they're gonna also be a supporter of the truth and gonna move forward in that truth to bring awareness to others that may have not been aware to that truth that have been revealed because you have been obedient to bring forth what Yah has put up on your heart to bring forth. How can a person hear unless a preacher preach? How can a preacher preach unless he been sent? So, this is how these things go. So that's the reason why I wanted to share what I'm sharing, because I feel and by no means is it a conflictorial type movement or mindset. Let me say this is not a conflictorial type of ruach or mindset. This is a mindset or a ruach of a haba to bring awareness and to help the people so they can see what needs to be seen the way it needs to be seen. Why? Because people have been teaching lies for so long, man. Teaching lies for so long. Like I say, real quick, when Yah allowed me to come forth to share something, I never wanted to be a teacher. I never was studying, trying to be a teacher, being a moray, want to do all that stuff. No, like my brother said before, and it holds true with me also. When you see a need there, it's like, man, okay, I'll go, boom, and go for it. In the power of the root that Yah has given and invested in you to bring forth that light where there is none. You get what I'm saying? Because people been teaching falsehood and lies for so long. They've been teaching according to the mindset or the spirit of Christianity and the mindset of the spirit of themselves outside of the mindset of the Father Yahweh himself. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why things get done so they can see what's going on. Just like people talking about how me and my Ak in full agreement about this. People talking about Jacob's trouble yet to come, as if Jacob's trouble hasn't already started or hasn't been going on for years. And that becomes a stronghold in people's mindset. And not only that, it's blindness to them, and it impairs them on walking the walk because they feel like something is yet to be done. And not only that, they spreading these lies to other people. That ain't what we do. So to redeem our brother from that falsehood and them lies, we share the truth so that they don't have to go and produce that same error that was taught to them. So we correct that needs to be corrected by the power of the Most High Yah. With that I land out, man. I just wanted to share that, man. Get that off my heart.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, full agreement. Tell it. Now, you kind of what you bringing out compels me to kind of clarify my statement you know, if you are led, if the Ruach is really leading you in a certain way to kind of speak to somebody, because that happens too. You know, follow that. I wasn't in any ways trying to say don't do that. There is a certain discernment you have to have and gather, you know, that goes along with that. And if anything, that's a part of this message too, okay? Not casting your pearls before swine, and to use discernment when you do cast your pearls, right? And to, you know, pray over it, consider y'all, consider the Ruach. And one thing I've noticed is the Ruach ain't really quiet about things, and it's not a one-time thing. If you miss it, you know, you out. It's a urge, it's a consistent thing, and it you know, it kind of stays on you. And with in certain instances, it actually kind of like it's a loud voice. To miss it, you actually kind of have to rebuke it. Like you almost have to be like, no, that ain't it. You know, I don't want to hear that, or I just don't want to do it. You know, because I mean, it really kind of, you know, you be hard pressed to really miss it though, for real, for real. So, you know, when you get pushed or led in a certain way, I mean, to be honest with you, it's really kind of detrimental to not go. You know, you don't want to be one that leaves off from his office, because if it's leading you somewhere, it's leading you there because you fit for that situation. You know, so yeah, man, I'm in agreement with my if I implied, you know, in the contrary, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply that, you know, but there is a lot of bickering and arguing in Yasharal, and there's a lot of frustration that we get when we try to minister to family members and things like that. And oftentimes it's not really Ruach led. It's just having a good intentions, right? And these good intentions oftentimes, you know, lead to loss of shalom, feelings of, you know, strife, hatred, frustration, depression, even, you know, and that's what I'm more so speaking about is let's be more mindful and more careful when moving off good intentions and not the Ruach, like my brother said. So
Right.
yeah.
Let me share something with you as well too. I'm glad that you brought it out to that clarity like that, because even though some people might comprehend fully what you were saying and how you were saying it, but we got to be mindful that everybody don't listen the same. Everybody don't comprehend the same. So when you say something and your intent is what your intent was, just like it is, other people might hear that and they get something totally different from that when that's not even what you said. We didn't experience that before. You know that with people. Like, come on now. And the only reason why you emphasize on that to bring forth clarity so it won't be no confusion. You can't get this twisted. Now, look, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Okay, now I see. Yeah, but you know, sometimes you got to go that extra mile for others because of their inability to walk or their inability to fully comprehend. So you have to be that you have to let the Ruach minister to them to be that comprehension, to add that more emphasis on something so they can get it and won't, you know, not miss out. I mean, you know, miss out. So that's the reason. That was the purpose, you know.
Hey, and too, man, we need to work on this stuff. Yeah, Sharal. Like you said, everybody don't hear the same. We got to start erring on the side of a hob and of long suffering with our brothers and sisters and giving the benefit of the doubt. And if you need clarity on a thing, you need to reach out behind the scenes and, you know, inquire and find out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Praise, yeah, that's right.
we'll do all this stuff like, oh man, I got to make sure I got my fringes on. Man, I got to make sure I show up here or show up there to this gathering, to that gathering. No, you need to make sure you hearing right. You need to make sure you got a ruach of a harbor. You need to make sure, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like these are the deeper things and the weightier matters. You need to make sure you don't jump to the wrong conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Like 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 be of a mind of you know, a harbor and consideration and fruits of the ruach. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that my brother brought this out to me because this kind of conversation need to be had. You know, here lately, we've been really concentrating on really listening to what the scripture says. You know, my brother's been a big proponent of what saith the word, you know, verbatim without people adding all this stuff. It's like it literally says, do this here, do this like this. And we go and wanting to, have good intentions and try to make stuff that ain't supposed to be made and do stuff that ain't supposed to be done. And, things like that. Like these are the kind of things we need to work on. The cleaning of the temple, really being tube all the way around the board. It don't do you no good to have on the best garment, the best Hebrew garment, but inside you don't know how to control your emotions. You don't know how to, show affection when it's time to show affection. It said, rejoice with those that rejoice and mourn with those that mourn. I mean, that is a deep consideration for your brother and your sister. You probably don't even feel like rejoicing, but they rejoicing. So because they rejoicing, you come out of your little rut and you rejoice with them. You might not even feel like mourning. You happy, but because they mourn and you go and you mourn with them. Like these are the kind of things of true harbor that we need to start working on and quit worrying about all this superficial stuff that people be worrying about. Go ahead, Up.
Nah, see, we over here agreeing with you. You got you in the room. You not to say that you wasn't in the room coming on. I'm just saying you on point, you on point. I would know, and that's exactly what we need. And I'm in full agreement with you. I'm here, which ready to serve, ready to do that. It's been times, and I must confess, and I'm gonna confess in front of you and in front of those that will listen, that it's been times that I wanted to be reserved to myself, going through certain things. But I believe it was a trying or trial on my own, on my end, to get me up. But like you said, rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. If your brother want to communicate, right? I want, we want to communicate, then hey, make yourself available to communicate with your brother at the time. You know what I mean? They want to share something
My sister been over there praying. My sister been over there praying. Open him up, Abba. Open him up. Let him go out.
So you trying to take the Most High's esteem, baby? You can't take the Most High y'all's esteem, baby. Y'all did that, baby. That's what Mike Epps. That's what Mike Epps said. Mike Epps was like, "You trying to get the Most High's esteem?" But he said, "God." Yeah, man. So that's what it is, man. And that's how we moving, man. That's how we grooving. That's just what it is, man. I understand the Most High y'all for that. Like I say, it was a trying time for me, man. And just wanting to be reserved, and not reserved, but almost isolated in a way. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like talking. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to be by myself, me and the Father, and word whatever. I don't want to, but get up out of there. That ain't what he called us to, man. Because it's gonna be a lot of talking when it's time to talk.
You know what though?
Yeah,
it's twofold, right? Which it's all about discernment. There is a time for that, and I think because it is truth, and that there is a time for that, you felt justified in doing it. But it's like it shouldn't be a thing that it's all the time. Damn, you got to get secluded out every other, you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
you got on mute. You actually didn't hit mute.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. There is a time for seclusion, right? And I think that's where the mix-up came in. That was that you read where patriarchs and Hamashiach separated themselves. Here by Enoch separating himself, you know what I'm saying? Hamashiach separating himself. But I think that's supposed to be at a minimum or for specific occasions. Whereas when you get to the point of finding yourself needing to seclude yourself often, then it becomes a thing of maybe it's something I need to look at as far as with dealing with situations in a certain way. Maybe I need to go through the difficulties of saying things I don't feel like saying, doing things I don't feel like doing, because I think it might be negative. You know what I'm saying? If I say this, this might happen. Or if I do this, this might happen. So rather than deal with all that, I just be quiet. I just leave it alone. I was saying, or could be saying, listen, go deal with that. Because through that, dealing with that, other fruit could bear. You might find out something you didn't know. You said, listen, man, you made me feel this kind of way when you did this. They be like, damn, I ain't even know. Maybe I did that to you because of this that happened to me back then. And before you know it, chains is being broken.
That's
You know what I'm
cool, Bob.
saying?
That's
Burdens
cool.
is being lifted.
That's
So,
cool.
and oftentimes we find that down the road and we be like, man, damn, we should have been.
Ak, you hit mute again. You got to read. There
Oh,
you go. Ak, okay.
okay. It all it's all to the esteem of the Most High, y'all. These things happen in this season. Because if you hadn't did what you did, you wouldn't be able to say what you're saying on this podcast. What I had to learn from this accident is that I need to be mindful of what Yah is doing. Although I never wanted to leave Yah, I never wanted to, leave off from the walk. The gathering we had and the group conversations and the group settings we had, it was many times I wanted to be done with that. I'm gonna be real honest. I'm gonna confess. But from our gatherings, right, and from our conversations, a lot of fruit was born from that. Regardless of, because I was in a situation I wasn't used to being. We all was in a situation we weren't used to being in, and we all had to analyze certain things about ourselves and deal with certain things about ourselves and certain things about each other that we wouldn't normally be in if it weren't for being in that situation. But we bore fruit we probably couldn't have bore if we weren't in that situation. So it's
Facts.
really about considering what is y'all do. I know I'm mad, I'm pissed, but what is y'all doing? Why am I in this?
Right.
Because your brother and your sister going through. You know what I'm saying?
We need you.
We need each other, right?
Your Ak over here going through something. And because y'all together and y'all in this group setting, now you get to talk to him about something that wouldn't have never got addressed if he wasn't here with you. Your wife going through something that, you know what I'm saying? It's just, whatever the reasons is, when we get frustrated about stuff, we need to stop. That's what was great about David. He said he was after y'all's own heart. That means he always considered y'all.
That's
He
right.
always wanted to do things to the utmost. That's why Bathsheba had to been bad.
There you go.
You got a man that's really after y'all's own heart in all things. Since he was a youth, he been on. And this woman then came into his life and he can't think of nothing else. She had to been bad. I said, I don't want nothing like that. I don't even want to meet nobody like that. Stay far from me. Because if you could turn David, man, after y'all's own heart, in after lust, like blinding lust. This is a man that always was like, what is y'all doing? What could I do for y'all? What to where this man then contemplated murder and then carried out murder. So, let's be of the mind of David when he was in his righteousness. before he fell.
God.
And even after he repented and he still got back on track, to always consider Yah and always try to, think of what is Yah doing in this situation. Like Hamashiach at the well, maybe I need to give this woman this, right? Because you got to understand, he had a large understanding. He didn't just go around just giving it out.
Right.
There was times and there was seasons for him to say certain things.
Right. He
and
moved with
do
purpose.
certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Up.
No, I was just in agreement saying he moved with purpose. You're right. It was time. Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Yeah. So, let's be mindful of that, brothers and sisters. We're going to be the oracles of the Most High Yah. We're going to be Yah's representatives. We, in essence, are, what is the female queen or whatever? We are people of the Malkuth, right? Princes and daughters of kings and these things, and we have to start behaving ourselves as such. There's a certain poise that we're supposed to have. When you read about the 3 Hebrew boys, they said they had a certain countenance about themselves. They had a certain way of conducting themselves. They had a certain manner of speech that was all just all superb. And even Yosef in Egypt, he had a certain way about him. They had a certain countenance, a certain look, had a certain manner of conducting himself. He had such a way. They said, "Hold on, you ain't no slave. Who is you? Where you come from? You ain't no slave boy." And all he had to do was say, "I'm one of Jacob's sons." They would let him go. The fact that he bore that, anyway, that's a side note. I'm just saying. But let's be mindful of conducting ourselves in such a way and carrying ourselves in such a way befitting to call ourselves children of the Most High Yah. And with that comes with discernment. With that comes with carrying ourselves in such a way and speaking in such a way that is an esteem, just like Proverbs talk about, Ecclesiastes talk about, a father's esteem coming from his children. That's why y'all had to punish David. He said, "You done brought a reproach on my name. What you've done is something like I removed Saul and put you in. Like I picked you. I went and found you. You wouldn't Saul's son. You wouldn't somebody who was just naturally in line to get this. I went and got you, and you did this. You done brought a reproach on my name." Notice he didn't say that Saul brought a reproach on his name. He said David did. So that's what we got to be mindful of. That's what you're gonna go to hell for. You can go to hell for being a reproach to the Most High Yah. That of all the nations of the earth, he chose you. He chose to minister to you. And that's why the other nations get involved in it. Because now he said he was going to open the gates, open the doors to these other nations to be ministered and the ability to come in. And many of them is turning from it, rebuking it, not wanting to hear it, and going after these other ways. So that's what hell is for. The fact that you behaved in a way different than what you was ordered to do. The commandments, the Torah, these are orders. Listen, this is how you do this. This is how you handle, like, firm business. Listen, you hurt this man. Pay this man stuff. You steal from this man. Pay this man back more than what you supposed. This is how you handle business. Your wife out here getting agreements and all that. No, you go say, "Hey, now listen, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing it." This is how you handle business.
That's right, Doc. Come on.
He gave us conduct. And if you're not behaving in the matter, in the conduct in which he gave, then you really bring in a reproach, and you're gonna go to hell for it. If you don't repent and turn and get back on track. all this stuff about not being perfect. You better be, you better be, as the scriptures say. Now, perfect as the scriptures say, not as in man's opinion of perfect. You know, because oftentimes that open rebuke to a man, oh man, you ain't got to be calling people out all, man. You ain't got to do all that to be seen and all that. No, the scriptures say open rebuke is better than secret hate. So that open
Secret love,
rebuke,
yeah. Secret love,
secret
Shalaki.
love,
Secret Ahava, yeah.
secret love, Slocky. So, you know, in that aspect where the world would say, no, you shouldn't do that, the scriptures say you just. So this the kind of perfect we need to be aspiring to, as by what the scriptures say. You know, and that's just what it is, man. Our ways can't be the ways of the wicked. Our thoughts can't be the thoughts of the wicked. We got to be like the Most High, yeah, like you said. His way is not our way, thought, not our thoughts. Like, we got to likewise be amongst the heathen. We got to be separate. That's what it's set apart, holy. So that's what we got to start considering, man. All this stuff, don't nobody care about you wearing a head wrap, sister. Don't nobody care about you wearing no fringes on your dress. What's your conduct? Does your husband delight in you? Okay. Does your children respect you? Does the community hold you in a high regard because of your actions? This is what is your name? Not what they call you, but what are you thought of as? This is what we got to start caring about, because it said if a man lives in a way that is pleasing to the Most High, y'all, even his enemies shall be at peace with him. That means they can't deny your righteous acts.
That's right, say that.
They said, man, you know what, man, I don't like that brother, man. What'd he do to you? Well, he ain't do nothing to me. I just don't like him. That's the kind of conversation they got to have. They shouldn't have no list. Man, you know, man, the man slowed my wife, man. The man stole $20 out of my wallet, you know. And these things be true. That can't be it. But you got fringes. And you out here teaching millions and ministering to millions of people. And the Most High don't care about all that, because you talk about you doing the work.
Come on out. Come on out.
What about your actions, man?
That's right. Beautiful.
Oh, I built a Hebrew community.
Wow.
But you a asshole in real life. Like, I'm just saying, man, we really got to start, you know, letting the truth be the truth, man. The yays be yays and the nays be nays, man. We really too superficial. And I think y'all in this day and age is really kind of making a difference, man. Separating the wheat from the tails, because this word is coming forth about real firm business, real actions.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hear this word, you're either going to get with it or you're going to continue on. And that's going to make you a tail. You get with it, that's going to make you a wheat, worthy to be gathered into the barn.
That's right.
Everything else going to be burnt up. You want to be
to that, yeah. Hey, I promise, man, there was a time where I was wanting to, I was desiring to go for and bring something out, but I didn't do it. That was something that I wanted to do on my own, like dealing with people that may not like me. Not that I done something wrong to them. You know what I mean? I was gonna come on and say, man, look, which one of y'all did I steal? Which one did I sleep with your wife or desire your wife? Which one of y'all did I do such for you not to like me? You get what I'm saying? And the answer would have been like, if they would have thought and been truthful with themselves, like they couldn't be like none of it. You know what I mean? Oh, but you may not like me based on what you may have heard from somebody else. Is that just? Is that righteous? Okay. So what that means, if that's not right, then you need to choose. You need to turn. Because if just like that's what is it? Samuel the prophet said, you know, which one of y'all have I took the cattle of? I did this, I did that. You know what I mean? So you have nothing to convince me of any kind of transgression of doing any of that. You know, so y'all's a witness. I've been a help to you people. The lead and guide you and keep you on the way, right? And you don't like people because it's going against. Some people don't like people because it goes against the narrative of what they think they know, And that's like, you're taking something that I think I hold, and this right here make me feel the way I feel. I feel like I'm somebody, but you taking this thing that make me feel like I'm somebody away from me because I thought I knew it, and now you just like I feel stupid and vulnerable. And it's not even that. It's you. Y'all's trying to help you get to the point where you can be secure, not a false sense of security that people's holding fast to because everybody doing it. But anyway, to that y'all, man. Y'all's too. Man, may the Most High Yah Baruch you, my brother, man. Keep you. May he lift his face upon you. May the Most High Yahweh give you shalom. May he empower you to always bring forth what's on his heart, a timely word for the people and the masses. May you always adhere to Yahweh's call as Yahweh call you forth to do whatever Yah has purposed to be done in the earth at this time. You know what I mean? And moving forward, my brother, Aniyah Habatai, I'm going to bid you shalom. May we hook up later on and communicate, break bread like we do. My brother, I'm here for you. I'm a supporter of the truth always, man. And like I said, Aniyah Habatai, shalom to you, my brother.
Aniyah Habatai, shalom, Mark. Shalom, sis. Toda for joining. It's my brother, the other half of Mark 67. As they say in the world's may, schoom boom. Oh, y'all can't hear nothing I'm talking about. Toda, man. Yeah, man, the Abba is cool. You see how, you know, we touched so many topics that was not even my thought or my intention to touch on today. But somebody was meant to hear this. Somebody is meant to hear this at a later time. You know, because there's a narrative. There are people that are in the forefront that I don't know if they was never meant to be there or if they were meant to be a snare and a stumbling block, or if they've just fallen away from their original intent or purpose, right? But I believe Yah is going to start to either remove these people or he's going to send forth the Ruach of truth that's going to cause those that are under these people to remove them themselves. You know what I'm saying? Resist Hasatan and he shall flee. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to have to, you know, we really got to be about truth and everything else got to go. You know, that's where we got to go. The only sense of urgency ought to be unto righteousness. Don't worry about the Russians and Ukraine and all this and China and all this old stuff. Don't worry about FEMA camps and all this. So that's what they want you. They want you to be so distraught that you miss Yah. Okay? Don't miss Yah, people. Cleave unto him. Cleave unto his instructions and things will be well with you. There was literally a time clock to destruction for Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot wouldn't, oh man, y'all gonna burn it up. Oh man, we finna die. We finna die. He was living his life in righteousness. He went out there. He saw the Malachim in the street. He said, come in, come eat, come, you can't be out here in these streets. Do you know? You're not from here. They killing and raping people around here. What do y'all do? Come in here, come in my house. He was living his life of righteousness. And it saved him. People like me and my brother, my sister, we coming to tell y'all that what we've been doing, what we've been thinking, how we've been living, it's been wrong. And it's been wrong by the will and the esteem of the Most High Yah, that those that diligently seek him wouldn't gonna fall. Right? The ones that's really seeking truth, they gonna find it. And they gonna know like, hey man, hold on, man, that ain't it. And they gonna live right. Even though it's still gonna be people out preaching the wrong things and, you know, causing people to go astray and to believe in falsehood. But those that diligently seek the Most High Yah have always found truth, because he said you was gonna find it. And he can't be a lie. You know, Yah is the truth and every man be a lie. Right? But it's really coming It's really coming. This thing about really living it, you know, cause in this awakening, it ain't really been about really living it. It's been about traditions and customs. If you really think about it, you know, this awakening has been mostly about traditions and customs. It's been about feast days. It's been about dietary laws. You know, it's been about doctrines. Very rarely has it focused on true ahaba, true affection for one another, that it causes a person to bend their own will for another, or to strengthen themselves in a firmness when they gotta openly rebuke somebody, when they gotta, you know, correct somebody in something, you know, when it causes them to, you know, dietary laws and all that can be a part of it, but it's been in part, you know. If you only doing the dietary laws and you only not keeping Christmas and all that, that's in part. What about when you really want to snap and chew somebody's head off in an argument, but you in meekness and humbleness just be like, you know what? You got that. You know, shalom, brother. Shalom, sister. Like really chastening yourself, really circumcising the flesh of your heart. This is what's going for. If you go back and read the books of the apostles, go back and read First Peter, Second Peter, go back and read, you know, John, First John, Second John, you know, all of Paul's books. It's all gonna speak about character and actions and spirits. Because we got to understand these evil things a person does, these character traits a person does that's wicked, it's all spiritual. It's all demonic. And that's a whole other video. You know what I'm saying? It's about evil and about righteous. You know, Rasha Ruachs, righteous Ruachs, right? Fruits of the Ruach, right? If you want to learn more about that, I'd say go read the book, The Testament of Gad. Go read The Shepherd of Hermas, right? Go read about these things. Go into these books that really go into the spiritual world and about character traits, about evil, about hatred, about, you know, lust, about envy, about, you know, laziness, all this stuff. Go and read this stuff and figure out how you could start to apply this stuff. Because if it's not applicable, this is I'm finna get riled up. If it's not applicable to your life, it's not, I won't say it's not worth the damn, but it's not what you need to devote the majority of your attention to. You know, mysteries about, you know, this and that and the third. You really got to focus on, am I where I need to be spiritually? Do I conduct myself, like I said earlier about conduct? Do I conduct myself how I need to conduct myself? Right? Do I treat people how I need to treat them? Do I treat the Most High how I need to treat him? This has got to be where our mind is at. Get about all these doctrines. Oh, man, multiple wives. Listen, you don't want to be in a polygynous relationship? Then leave it alone. Why are you worried about them people? Them people do that stuff. You know? Just pray that they conduct themselves accordingly, that it be about what they claim it be about growing of a nation. May those men that do the polygyny, may they be fathers to fatherless children. May they be husbandmen. May they cover these women in righteousness. May they guide these women into righteousness and understanding. May they teach them of the deeper things of y'all. Pray for that for them, Instead of, oh, because that usually be what it be, you know, and then you get into a place of condemning something that, you know, I don't want to, you get into a position of condemning something that you can't adequately prove. You just believe. You don't have no scriptures to really prove it. You don't have no scriptures that say this is wrong. You don't have the Most High saying don't do it. He talks in the scriptures. You don't hear him talking about marrying you know, multiple wives. So just leave this stuff alone. If it's not for you, don't take on matters. The scriptures tell us don't busy yourself with matters too weighty for you. Okay? Polygyny may be too weighty for you. Women, you can't see your husband with other men. Oh, not me. I would never let. Well, don't. Are you married? Your husband want another wife? Well, leave it alone then. If he do want another wife, you need to ask him, what have I done to thee? You know, why is thou not happiest with thee? You know what I'm saying? What, like get into the deeper things about the practicality of it. Now, if he come to you, he said, babe, this woman, she need covering. She can help with the cleaning around the house. You know what I'm saying? I can be a father to her children. We can start a business. We can start pulling out money, pulling out things, and this thing becomes practical to where it's beneficial to all that's involved. And it's not just about, man, I want to hit that, but you know, I gotta try to make it legit. So I gotta marry her. Whole time y'all don't like each other. Y'all ain't sisters. Y'all ain't got no kind of camaraderie or none of that. It's sisters that when one is pregnant, they rub each other's feet and massage each other's shoulders, and you know, they bring a harbor to one another. They bring affection and care, and they are aid, they are strength to one another. How you gonna condemn that? Because you can't wrap your mind around it. There are people that's really doing this thing right. So, you know, it's all about characteristics. If the people involved in the polygyny got the right characteristics, they got a heart towards one another, that is really about the righteous fruits of the thing, then let that thing be, man. You know, why would you bother it? Why would you condemn it? Why would you condemn a harbor when it's in its proper context? You know, and it's just, you know, it's just that we got to stop being so, we be so ready. It's like some people at an old shot house or something. I don't know if any of y'all know. I'm from Alabama. They got what's called shot houses, where, you know, you go, you're able to buy you some liquor. You know, it's kind of like a bar, but it's usually like, you know, in the summertime, it'd be outside in the backyard, or it'd be in a little house where they be drinking and playing cards, playing dominoes, playing big whiz, listening to some blues music, you know, Johnny Taylor and all that old stuff. You know, I'm from Alabama. I come from all that, right? And they sit around and they just talk, kind of like a barber shop or something. They sit around, just talk people business, want to argue, want to talk. Ain't nobody bringing forth no real kind of edification. Just a bunch of just nothing. And in this walk, which is a reproach to the Most High Yah, which I just talked about earlier, you know, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, man. You know, let's be fruitful. Let's help. Let's aid. Let's build and not tear down. You know. But yeah, that's what I got for y'all. You know, Abba know I be talking. So Todah for him, Todah for my brother being on this morning, stepping in to kind of, you know, move the conversation into different places that was apparently much needed. So man, all praise to the Most High, man. Mighty and awesome Abba, whose wisdom and kindness is limitless. So I'm gonna get off of here. Shalom to the brethren. All praise to the Most High. Y'all, thanks to his son Yahushua Mashiach. You know, it's 12 tribes, but it's one nation.